They say some houses remember. The walls whisper. The floorboards groan. And sometimes, the very air turns hostile. But in Amityville, New York, something much darker took root. Something that left behind corpses, trauma, and a haunting so chilling it would terrify even the world's most famous paranormal investigators. This is the story of the Amityville Horror, and how Ed and Lorraine Warren stepped into a nightmare that still echoes decades later. Chapter 1. It began not with ghosts, but with blood. On November 13, 1974, the quiet suburban peace of Amityville shattered. 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr. brutally murdered his entire family, his parents and 4 siblings, while they slept in their beds. One by one, he moved room to room with a .35 caliber Marlin rifle, pulling the trigger 6 times. No neighbors reported hearing gunshots. No one woke up. Even investigators were baffled. How did an entire family die in their sleep, without a struggle, in such silence? DeFeo claimed he heard voices urging him to kill. Many dismissed him as insane. He was convicted in 1975 and sentenced to 6 consecutive life terms. But the story was far from over. Chapter 2, The Lutz Family. Just over a year later, in December of 1975, newlyweds George and Kathy Lutz purchased the DeFeo home at a reduced price. It was a dream deal: beautiful Dutch colonial, 5 bedrooms, a boathouse, and 112 Ocean Avenue as their new address. They moved in with their 3 children, full of hope. But within days, that dream decayed into a waking nightmare. It started small: cold spots, strange noises, a sense of being watched. But things escalated fast. George began waking every night at 3:15 a.m., the very time DeFeo allegedly carried out the murders. He grew distant, irritable, obsessed with the fireplace, claiming he was constantly cold. Kathy had terrifying nightmares. One morning, she woke up with deep red welts on her body and levitated above her bed. Their daughter, Missy, made an invisible friend she called Jody, a red-eyed pig-like creature that said it could change shapes and didn't like people. The doors would slam. Crucifixes turned upside down. Slime oozed from walls. And in the silence of night, unseen voices whispered. 28 days after moving in, the Lutzes fled the house, leaving everything behind. Chapter 3, Enter Ed and Lorraine Warren. Word of the Lutzes' ordeal spread fast. When Ed and Lorraine Warren heard the reports, they knew they had to investigate. By then, they were already seasoned paranormal investigators with a deep Catholic faith and hundreds of cases behind them. The Warrens arrived in March of 1976, accompanied by a TV crew and other psychics. Lorraine Warren, a clairvoyant, claimed she sensed a malevolent presence even before stepping inside. She described it as a force that was not only intelligent but inhuman, something demonic. As they moved through the house, Lorraine was overwhelmed by an oppressive energy. She said she felt as though the very house wanted to harm them. In one room, she claimed to see dark, hooded figures. In the basement, she sensed the core of the evil. Ed, who wasn't psychic, but a skilled demonologist, attempted to provoke the spirit by reciting religious rites. He reported temperature drops, sudden spikes in EMF activity, and physical resistance when entering certain rooms, as if something wanted to keep him out. And then came the photograph. Chapter 4, The Boy with the Glowing Eyes. During the investigation, a camera was set up on the second floor, taking infrared photos throughout the night. Later, when the images were developed, one photograph stood out. A small boy peeking from a doorway. But here's the catch: no children were in the house at the time. His eyes glowed white. Some said it resembled John DeFeo, one of the murdered children. The image has never been conclusively debunked. And for the Warrens, it was further proof that something lingered in that house, something unholy. Chapter 5, Theories and Backlash. As news spread, the Amityville Horror became a media storm. Books were published. Films were made. And skeptics began poking holes in the story. Some accused the Lutzes of fabricating the events to escape a mortgage or gain fame. Others questioned the lack of physical evidence. But the Warrens never wavered. Ed insisted that demonic forces can manipulate perception and environment, they don't leave fingerprints. Lorraine stood by her visions, even decades later, calling it one of the most disturbing cases they ever faced. Their involvement also came at a price. Lorraine said she felt haunted by the Amityville case for years. It left a stain on her spirit, an emotional heaviness that never fully went away. Chapter 6, The House Today. The infamous 112 Ocean Avenue still stands, though the address has since been changed in an attempt to deter tourists. Several families have lived there since, claiming no unusual activity. But does that mean the haunting ended? Or did the entity lie dormant, satisfied with the chaos it had already wrought? Many believe the Warrens sealed the worst of it. Others think the energy still exists, waiting for the right moment, the right person, the right weakness. Chapter 7, Legacy of Fear. For Ed and Lorraine Warren, the Amityville case became both a warning and a burden. It warned them, and the world, that some hauntings go beyond the typical. That evil can infest a place, manipulate the living, and thrive on fear and despair. It also burdened them with fame they never asked for. The media turned the case into a circus, but for the Warrens, it was never about headlines. It was about helping a family escape something they didn't understand, and couldn't fight alone. Whether you believe every word or not, the fear they encountered was very real. And to this day, Amityville remains a defining chapter in the lives of Ed and Lorraine Warren. A house where murder met the supernatural. A case that continues to chill the spine of anyone who dares to look too closely. Some houses hold memories. But others, they hold something else. The Amityville Horror may have begun with a crime. But what followed was far more terrifying, a descent into the unexplained, the sinister, and the truly paranormal. Ed and Lorraine Warren walked into that house believing they could handle anything. They walked out forever changed. And maybe, just maybe, the house is still watching.